Welcome to another episode of Musical People Journeys, a new rock album review show. I'm Nige, we have Chris, and we have Lauren, and welcome, gang.
Hello, hello.
Hi, hi.
So we're missing Andy, Paul, and Trish for this episode, but that's okay. They're voted, and we'll kind of have a feedback on that as well. So today, we've already done U2, and now we're coming to another Legends, the Foo Fighters, and your favourite toy. Lauren, what's your favourite toy?
Oh, well, a good album. This is. I'm gonna breeze past that comment. It's Foo Fighters, man. So for me, Foo Fighters is a staple. I'm pretty sure, aside from like The Killers, I think one of the first albums I ever bought was The Killers' Hot Fuss. I remember going to HMV and picking out two albums, and it was Florence and the Machine because Lungs was just out, and The Killers. And on the way home, with The Killers in the car, Mum and Dad went, "You're going to end up being someone who's into rock, aren't you?" And I was like that. No, you never know. And then as I grew further and Kerrang entered my life, everything that was played on there was loads of Foo Fighters videos, which was like, it was the whole like Everlong, Learn to Fly, all that sort of era. And then Pretender came and it just blew my little mind. So it's been one of those things where I've been a huge fan for a very long time. I absolutely adore them. I love Dave Grohl. I think he's really cool. I think he's a cool dude, despite some of the things that have occurred around him in the past. So yeah, I went into this album with really high expectations, but sort of like had to almost check myself a little bit because they've had moments where it's been like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, it's this, it's that. But I was excited to see what they were going to bring because one of the things that they normally pride themselves on is they want to keep trying and doing bits and bobs and revisiting and developing and refining. And for me, this album did that. For me, it was a total like reclamation of their original sound. It had everything that I wanted in it, but it then had the production value of the fact that they're really established. So a record label is going to go, yeah, cool, we'll give you the money to do that and have some fun. For me, it was a little bit of anarchy done just right with the Foo Fighters flavour. The fuzz box that you had put through on vocals and on guitar in places was just delicious. I really loved that. It's one of the things about the Amazons album we did a while ago that I really absolutely adored, and I found that for me, that's something that I really love, that sound. I really enjoy it. It hit such a high nostalgia point for me. It was just like, straight into my little teen emo heart that I absolutely loved. I really enjoyed the vulnerability in some of the lyricism that was in there that came alongside the rage, because with some of their original stuff that echoed this sound, it is that classic, they were younger men, it was very ragey, it was very outward, all that sort of stuff, and it was very good for just being an angry teen too. Whereas with this, I feel like they brought that vulnerability in of, we've reflected, this is where this originated from. And I really, really loved that. I did have to cherry pick the odd song, which is why it hasn't got necessarily the highest high score possible from me. But there were just some absolute bangers in there. I think my personal favourite was Child Actor, because I just thought, what a superb thing. What a brilliant commentary on how things are for young people who want to be musicians or creatives or anything like that. And I think, especially coming from them, where a lot of them are fathers, I think it's such a brilliant take of like, this is what we dealt with when we were young in this industry, and now they're seeing this happen and with their kids who want to do similar things. And I just think it was just a really cool take. I really enjoyed it. It's what I wanted, exactly what I wanted.
Cool. Well, what can I say? Something that we want and that we've always wanted, of course, is Chris. So, Chris, tell us, was Foo Fighters what you wanted?
Well, it's Foo Fighters, isn't it? Do I need to say anything more?
We can move on if you want.
Right. No. So, I think we did when we did my greatest of all time earlier in the year, which was I wasn't expecting at the time, but yeah, I think Foo Fighters ranked very highly, if not the top. So similar to what Lauren was saying, I was listening to Foo Fighters back when I was at uni. Everlong, Pretender, Long Road to Ruin, all that sort of stuff. Special props to him for turning up in Tenacious D's as the devil in Tenacious D for Dave Grohl. But so there's when you look back over that sort of history, and you can pick out all their sort of the barnstorming hero tracks. This album doesn't have any of those, but that's because they've gone for a more stripped down, lean, going more back to their original sort of vibe. And of course, they lost their drummer in 2022, so they basically had to rebuild the band. And anyone who knows the way that rock music is formed, drummer is kind of a key part of the whole thing. And I think just the amount of stuff they've gone through with, as Lauren alluded to, some of the stuff going on in all their personal lives and everything like that. It's they've put out a solid Foo Fighters album that has all the hallmarks that you'd be expecting, but there are none of those hero tracks that are gonna it's not gonna set the world on fire, but it's given them a good basis to start from to build up, and long may that continue. So all the stuff you'd expect, the catchy riffs, Dave Grohl's lyrics, they're all still there. They're all still kind of what we were saying in the U2 review. It's keep doing it while you can do it, because what they're doing is still brilliant. But as someone who knows what Foo Fighters can do, this is a solid album for fans. But it's not going to. I don't think this would bring new fans into it so much when you consider the back catalogue. But put the back catalogue in front of people, and there's a lot more there to work with. But it's still a world class musicians, still a cracking album. Just kind of like as Dora said, I came into this expecting a brilliant album, and so it's kind of hard not to be a little bit disappointed that it isn't the brilliant album that I was hoping for. But that's that's the penalty you pay for being the kind of group that they are.
What did Trish think, Lauren?
So Trish is very much echoing the same sort of things that we're saying. She is also a long-time listener. I think it's pretty staple if you're into rock, really, is the Foo's going to get you. So she said they've built a reputation on consistency, always delivering solid, dependable rock records, and now and then dropping everything that's something truly exceptional, much like Kylie was saying. Like Medicine at Midnight, there's a big one for her. So the question for me was simple. Does this hit the same high for Trish? For her, the answer was no, but that didn't mean it fell short. It sits comfortably in the solid Foo Fighters album category, and it reminds you why you've stuck with them for so long. There's familiarity in it, but it feels intentional rather than them being tired. They're not chasing trends, and for her, that's part of the appeal. They know who they are, and they lean into it. And what stands out for her is their sound. You hear a chord, a riff, or even the production, and you know it's them listening to it. The identity of that and how you can pinpoint for her is a reason why they've got so much longevity to them, and why they continue to resonate with fans. For her, whilst the album doesn't deliver a big wow, it is a case of it has some amazing highlights. For her, Window is a standout, and the title track, Favourite Toy, also lands nicely for her, capturing the energy. For her, it's reliable, well crafted, unmistakably Foo Fighters, but if she was honest, she was waiting for the next little push into something truly sensational. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, look, I'm going to absolutely disagree with everything everybody said, because for me, after Medicine for Midnight, which was for me probably one of the best albums I've heard since COVID, and we were coming out of COVID, so wasn't officially kind of in the podcast back then. And then and we have reviewed a Foo Fighters album, the previous one, but Here We Are was very much a slightly different kind of flavour. It was more kind of downbeat. It wasn't there. It only got a 3.6 for us, really. So when 4 songs get onto my cool playlist, okay, this for me, and I'm going to go through them: Caught in the Echo, Window, Unconditional, Child Actor, And for me, this had connotations of Medicine for Midnight, where you had that you had that really edgy, growly kind of David Grohl, and then you had more the kind of softer tracks. It was, and I get really frustrated with this perception that you're always gonna achieve the unattainable when you know, this is what you have a greatest hits album for. You know, it's never gonna be as great as their previous albums. It's, you know, it is, because once you have that benchmark up there, you know, it's almost impossible to kind of recapture that. You know, you have to be an incredibly, you know, Queen maybe kind of did it, but then, you know, Queen were getting criticised. It's only now, years later, you know, I remember watching a documentary about Queen and some of the new stuff they were bringing on, you know, and people go, oh, this is not Queen, blah blah blah, and yet a year later or 2 years later, they were classics, you know. So for me, this was an absolutely bang on return to form. It's exactly what I love about Foo Fighters, which is edgy, bit of growly, bit of in there, and then that softer kind of elements in there. I think there's full of banging tunes, full of it. And I agree, Child Actor was just a touch of utter genius. The whole lyricism, the whole point of it was absolutely just superb. This is a absolutely superb album. Is it as good as Medicine for Midnight? No. Is it worthy of my praise I'm giving it? Is it up there? Is it on a par? Yes. It's not far off. I loved this album. I absolutely loved it. It's by far one of my favourite albums of the year. Yeah, it was just banging. It was absolutely banging. I loved it. There we go. And if I was doing a lot of walking, me and Chris know I was supposed to go to Ben Nevis this year. Fortunately, I tore a ligament in my knee, and it's very obvious that I do a lot of consumption of music while I'm walking, because I've struggled to get through all the albums this month with all 16 albums. But and that's really annoyed me, because I think I'm a bit behind, because Foo Fighters was the second album I listened to, and I kept it on repeat. Absolutely terrific. Love this album. Foo Fighters, welcome back. Please keep with this. Keep banging out albums like this, and, you know, fan for life. Cracker. Absolutely cracker. By far, I call them heavy indie. They're heavy indie, kind of got the elements of rock and indie, and they're by far the best band in this genre by a million miles. Loved it. Welcome back. Child Actor. Genius. Right, okay, let's find out then, shall we? Will they beat, but here we are at 3.6. Let's find out then. Lauren, let's start with you then.
I gave it a 4.5.
You did. As did Andy. Andy also gave this a 4.5. We're off to a rocking 4.5s. What did Trish give it?
Trish gave it a 4.
A 4? Outrageous. Paul give it a measly 2.5. He's a Chris?
Give it a 3.5. It deserves more than 2.5.
No shock. I give this an absolutely cracking, banging 5. Deserves a 5. None of this. It wasn't quite as good as this album or this album. It was a banger. Absolute banger. Loved it. 4.3. Welcome, Foo Fighters, to our Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. And in fact, I'll tell you, it's not only is it the 67th, joint 67th best album of the 690 that we reviewed. Wow, brilliant. So in the top 100. And it is currently sitting joint 6th out of our top 60 albums that we reviewed so far this year. So, brilliant. My wildcard pick at the minute. For album of the year.
Spoiler alert, come on.
But who knows? We're only halfway through the year, so it can all change. Right, okay, thank you very much. What do you guys think out there? Let's finish off, shall we, with as Foo Fighters has 2 words in it. Let's finish off with our 2 words, shall we? Lauren?
Fabulously Foo.
Fabulously Foo. Chris?
Promising reboot.
It's Foo Fantastic! Yeah! Come on, let's crack on. Leave your 2-word review below and let us know what you think. Hit the like and subscribe button. And thank you very much for tuning in and listen to our veritable nonsense. And we'll speak again soon. Goodbye and keep on Foo rocking!